السلام عليكم خوتي، اصبحنا واصبح الملك لله. تحياتي لكم، سلامي لكم، صحة رمضانكم وصحة فطوركم. الناس اللي تبعوني في كل قارات العالم، سلامي لكم، محبتي لكم، دعواتكم لنا، ندعوكم ادعونا. اليوم حبيت نتكلم على موضوع هناك السلطات البريطانية يعني راهي تدرس يعني قرار بين الحكومة البريطانية ورواندا. رواندا في أفريقيا، حوالي مسافة 7000 كيلومتر من بريطانيا. الناس اللي جاوا يطلبوا اللجوء ودخلوا بالفلايك هنا من فرنسا إلى يعني من جماعة كالي إلى دوفر، كان قرار باه يرحلوهم ويحطوهم في كامب في رواندا كما دارت أستراليا وكما دارت بعض الدول. صراحة هذا القرار إذا داروه يكون قرار محزن وقرار يعني تعسفي، لكن هذا الحكومات قائمة بهذا الواجب، يعني هي قائمة بأمورها، ما قدروش يدخلوا في قوانينها، لكن بيرحلوك إلى أفريقيا. يعني صراحة ربي يكون معاهم وردوا بالكم خاوتنا يعني اللي يجوا هنا وكذا وكذا. أنا بالمناسبة اللي يكون في فرنسا يقدر يداوي، يقدر عنده حوايج خير من هنايا، بالرغم أنه هنا الحرية، لكن فيما يخص الطب هنا ما ننصحكمش. أنتم خوتي، سلام الحبايب، تحياتي لكم.
Asylum seekers who reached the UK after crossing the English Channel in small boats are to be sent to Rwanda in a controversial new immigration deal the two countries will sign off on today. The government here says they'll unveil the full details later, but it's thought some single men who arrive in the UK will then be flown to the African country around 4,000 miles away while their applications to stay in the UK are processed. Our Home editor Mark Easton reports from Rwanda.
The Home Secretary Priti Patel arrived in Rwanda, telling reporters she'd spent the last 9 months trying to finalise a deal with another country to process some of the illegal immigrants who arrive into Britain across the Channel. At a conference centre in the Rwandan capital Kigali, she will announce plans to relocate single male asylum seekers from Kent, more than 4,000 miles south, to Central Africa. The UK-Rwanda Migration and Development Partnership is the centrepiece of a wider policy blitz to deal with what's been a humiliation for ministers who promised Brexit would mean control of Britain's borders, record numbers of asylum seekers turning up in dinghies beneath the white cliffs of Dover. In the last 4 years, the numbers of people crossing the Channel in small boats has climbed from 297 in 2018 to almost 29,000 last year. This year has already seen 4,578 arrivals and looks set to be a new record. Sending asylum seekers to Rwanda, however, is likely to prove hugely controversial.
This is a despicable policy, quite frankly, one that we know how awful it is in all of its guises, because we can see what happened in Australia. It costs huge sums of money to do a huge amount of cruelty to very few people, and with no ultimate impact on the fact that people need to flee.
In a speech later this morning, the Prime Minister will say that outsourcing parts of the asylum system to Rwanda will help break the business model of the people traffickers exploiting those seeking a better life in the UK. Just as Brexit allowed us to take back control of legal migration, he will say, the government is now determined to take back control of illegal migration. But critics point to Rwanda's poor human rights record. At the UN last year, the UK demanded investigations into alleged killings, disappearances and torture. Is this the right place to entrust with protecting the human rights of vulnerable asylum seekers who hoped Britain would protect them? Flying in the ministerial jet for a day trip to Rwanda is evidence that Priti Patel thinks the policy will prove popular with voters. Even she accepts, though, that there are potentially insurmountable practical and legal hurdles before it can actually happen. Mark Easton, BBC News, Rwanda.